Hello everyone, my name is Aulia Sagita Ananda. I'm from class 33.5A.07 with name 33.5A.07. Today, in this presentation, I will discuss about syllables and masculine rhyme. This topic is important in linguistics, mostly in linguistics, as well as in poetry and songs because it relates to sound, stress, and word rhyme. So let's start to part 1 about syllable and masculine rhyme. Alright, the first one. What is syllable? Syllable is a unit of sound consisting of one vowel as its nucleus and may have consonants before or after it. So, a syllable is a unit of sound in a word. Each syllable has one vowel sound as its core and may be preceded or followed by consonants. When we pronounce a word, usually we actually pronounce it in one or more syllable. Alright, we move to the next slide. It's about structure of syllable. In this slide, we have 3 points about the structure of syllables and then example for syllable. The first one is onset. Second one is nucleus. Third one is code. The structure of a syllable consists of 3 parts. The first, the one, which is the initial consonant and is optional. Second one, the nucleus, which is the code of the syllable, usually a vowel and is mandatory. The third one, the code, which is the final consonant and is also optional. Together, the onset, nucleus, and then code, it's a form of complete syllable. And then also 2 examples of syllable. For example, the word cat has only one syllable with the pattern C, V, C. And then the word apple has 2 of syllables like up to pull. And the word banana consists of 3 syllables. It is banana. And similarly, words like elephant and computer contain several syllables. Okay, we move to slide function of syllable. I have 3 points about the function of syllable. So, the first is helps with pronunciation. Second, determine rhythm and stress. Third, organize and structure. Okay, the function of syllables. Syllables have several important functions. First, they help make pronunciation clearer. And second, they determine rhythm and stress in speech. Third, they help organize word structure so that words are easier to understand. Okay, so we move to next topic. It's about masculine rhyme. So, what is masculine rhyme? Masculine rhyme is a type of rhyme in which the stress falls on the last syllable of the rhyming words. It is also called single rhyme. So I will explain to detail about the masculine rhyme. Masculine rhyme is a type of rhyme in which the stress falls on the final syllable of the rhyming words. Because why? Because only the final syllable is stressed. Masculine rhyme is also known as a single rhyme. Slide its characteristic. Rhyme on the last syllable, generally closed syllable. Commonly used in poetry, songs, and lyrics. Example of masculine rhyme, for example, like cat, hat, grow, show, confess, depress, desire, bewire, stand, land. Essentially, stressed final syllables have the same sound. So, the main characteristic of masculine rhyme is that the rhyme occurs on the final syllable. It usually involves a closed syllable with a CDC pattern. Masculine rhyme is commonly found in poetry, songs, and song lyrics. Examples include cat, like that, like hat, grow, show, stand, land. In short, the stressed final sound must be identical. Of part 1. In this slide, I have a reference. For reference, I found two theories from AI. Then I searched for the files in the media shown. For example, like Google Scholar, something like that. Alright everyone, let's move to part 2. It's about case study. So, let's start. The first slide I will explain about identification and analysis of linguistic elements. 3 examples of assimilation. Assimilation is a phonological process in which articulatory influence causes a sound to resemble a nearby sound more. It usually happens when speaking quickly or informally. So, assimilation example 1. I'm gonna check the projector. Underline from going to going to. Suffix from gonna to gonna. Okay, next to slide explanation. The the into weakness and merge with the preceding sounds due to rapid speech, vowel reduction to qua and simplification of consonants occur. This process reflects regressive assimilation where upcoming sounds influence earlier ones. Gonna is a common fast speech from in spoken English. Assimilation example 2. Wanna play. Underling from 1 2. 1 2. Surface from wanna to be wanna. The the sound disappears between two vowels, becoming assimilated. The two words blend into one phonological unit. And research by Roach 2009 confirms that the deletion is frequent in informal in English. Alright, next assimilation example 3. Grandma. Intended grandma. Underline from grandma. Surface from grandma. The sound is delayed because it appears between two nasal consonants and m. This reflects nasal assimilation, making articulation easier by reducing an intervening stop. By Fromkin etc. 2017. Note that consonant deletion in nasal environments is common in both child speech and casual adult speech. Okay, move to next slide. 3 examples of metasis. Metasis refers to the recording or switching of sounds within a word. It appears in child language, dialects, and historical sounds change. Metasis example 1. Ox, intended ox, underline from ox, surface from ox. The positions of S and K are reversed. This is classic example of metathesis frequently found in children's speech and some English dialects. So, next 3 example of metathesis. Example 2 is spaghetti. Intended spaghetti, underline from spaghetti, surface from spaghetti, and the p sound shifts to initial position, flipping the order of consonants by Clark 2003. It explains that children often use metathesis too simply. Next, metathesis example 3. Film, intended film, underline from film, surface from film, film. The position of L and M are adjusted after an inserted vowel, changing the sequence of sounds. Some dialects naturally exhibit this from making in both metathesis and epenthesis. Okay, move to next slide. For example of epenthesis or epenthesis. Epenthesis or epenthesis is the insertion of sound, usually a vowel, to simplify pronunciation, especially between difficult consonant clusters. So, the first example for epenthesis. 1. Film, from film, change film to film. A vowel is inserted between L and M. According to Roach 2009, vowel epenthesis commonly occurs when speakers encounter articulatory complex clusters. Next, example 2. Animal, instead of animal, change animal. There is an added a or a at the end of the word. By Ingram 1989 states that children often insert vowels to stabilize syllable structure. This insertion creates an extra syllable for easier pronunciation. Okay, so next, epenthesis example 3, spaghetti. Even though this example involves metathesis, it also contains epenthesis. Change spaghetti. The square a after p is an inserted vowel. Adding a vowel helps break apart complex clusters like sp for young speakers. Next, example 4. Gonna and wanna. Change going to gonna. Change one to wanna. The inserted The inserted schwa creates a smoother transition between consonants. In rapid speech, English speakers regularly use epenthesis vowels to maintain fluency. By B. 2001, emphasized that such epenthetic vowels arise from use-based phonological reduction. Okay, so move to the next slide. It's phonetic transcription or IPA. Read the following 20 items aloud using the correct IPA pronunciation. Each item below already includes the correct IPA transcription. Number 1. Comfortable, comfortable. Probable, probable. Accommodate, accommodate. Massive, massive. Go away, go away. Teacher, teacher. Idea, idea. Explanation, explanation. Gladiator, gladiator. Happening, happening. Abstraction, abstraction. Moderate, moderate. Belief, belief. Intensity, intensity. Category, category. Include, include. Discharge, discharge. Gratitude, gratitude. 30, 30. Spontaneous, spontaneous. Okay, next slide. Phonology text analysis of stress suffixes. Stress-specific suffixes. Stress-specific suffixes do not alter the position of primary stress in the best word.
Ayang.
Next, we move to next topic. It's phonology text analysis of stress suffixes. Stress-preserving suffixes. Stress-preserving suffixes do not alter the position of primary stress in the best word, according to Projek and Universitas by Siegen 2002. These suffixes are prosodically weak and therefore do not interfere with lexical stress. Example A. Hopeful, hope, and then to full. From hope to be hopeful. IPA hope, hopeful. Full is a stress-preserving suffix. The best hope retains its primary stress on the first and only syllable, adding full does not save stress because full is predically weak and attached as clade-like adjectival suffix. Okay, next slide. Phonological text analysis of stress suffixes. Stress-preserving suffixes. Example B. Careless, care, and less. From care to careless. IPA care, careless. Less similarly preserves the best stress. It creates an adjective but does not attract stress. The main lexical stress remains on the best. Okay, next stress preserving suffixes. Example C. Darkness, dark to ness. From dark to darkness. IPA dark, darkness. Nominalizing suffix ness is also stress-preserving in English. It adds a syllable, but the primary stress remains on the original stress syllable of the base. Next slide, stress-attracting suffixes. Stress-attracting suffixes influence stress placement by pulling stress toward the syllable preceding the suffix according by George 1992. These suffixes impose metrical requirements on the derived word. Example A. Education. Educate to education. From educate to education. Education. IPA educate to education. The suffix Asian, orthographically Asian, phonetically Asian is stress attracting, typically falls on the syllable immediately preceding the suffix. Here, attract the suffix. Here, the process is morphological when Asian stress shifts to the antepenultimate to penultimate position depending on syllable structure. Okay. Next, we move to example B of stress-attracting suffixes. Musician. Music to musician. From music, musician, IPA music to musician. The suffix in to Asian from nouns for people and usually attracts stress to the syllable before the suffix. Here the second syllable this. The best stress pattern is therefore altered. Example C. Geology. Geo to logy. From geology to logy, IPA geology. The combining suffix logy commonly attracts stress to the syllable immediately before it, the log syllable producing stress in logy. In many logy words, the main stress falls on the same syllable directly preceding logy. Okay. Next, suffixes that cause a systematic shift of stress from the base to a different syllable, often visible when derived from has stress on a different syllable than the base. Example A. Democratic. Democracy or democratic from IPA democracy to democratic. The adjectival suffix ic often shifts the stress toward the syllable immediately before the suffix. Here, create. In this family, the noun democracy has stress on the second syllable, but the adjective democratic places stress on the penultimate syllable because I creates a different prosodic footing. Okay, next, shifting suffixes. Example B. Economic. Economy to economic forms IPA economy to economic. The second syllable, but economic. The suffix again shifts stress. The base noun economy is stressed on the second syllable, but economic. Adjective place primary stress on the syllable before it. or noun. Alright, next to example C. Photographic. Photograph or photographic forms IPA photograph. Photograph to photographic. Adding ig or forming an adjective from a noun often causes stress to move to the syllable immediately before the suffix. The best photograph has initial stress. Photographic moves stress right word. Example D. Photography, photograph to photography. Photograph, the deferable noun y from like photograph shifts stress in a different way. The stress retreats to the second syllable, illustrating that different derivation y, a, graphy can systematically reassign the stress. This example complements photography and family patterns of stress alternation. So next, the last slide is reference. So these references were selected to support the theoretical foundation of this presentation, particularly in these areas of phonology, morphology, and stress pattern in English. First, the book by Fromkin, Rothman, and Himes provides the basic linguistic framework for this presentation, especially in understanding phonology and stress pattern in English. Next, Clark's journal article discusses language acquisition and cognitive development, which helps explain how learners acquire stress patterns over time. Then, by B, book on phonology and language use support the idea that stress patterns are influenced by usage and morphological process. And the study by Ingram on first language acquisition adds background on how stress and phonological system develop in early language learning. And the article from Birkbeck College, University of London, focus on intelligibility, and the role of lexical stress, showing why correct stress placement is important for listener comprehension. Moving on, Roach phonetics and phonology glossary supports the use of IPA transcription and stress notation used in this presentation. Finally, Aronoff and Fuderman's work on morphology explains derivational process such as suffixion, which directly relates to stress, shifting suffixes discussed in this example. Together, these references provide a strong academic basic for the analysis presented in this study. So that's all my presentation about part 2 case study, and thank you for the attention to you everyone. See you.